Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to CBD Business Success Brand Spotlight number 2. We're here with Stuart Morgan and Paul Booth. Stuart's the founder of Suppology, my favorite brand that Paul Booth has created. Yeah, Suppology. And thanks for the sweater, man. I wear it. Yeah, it's super amazing. So yeah, they have the best swag that I've gotten from any CBD brand. This sweater you sent me was like super thick and really well made. So thank you for that.
Yeah, nice to man.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us, everybody, and thanks for jumping on with us, Paul.
Yeah, my pleasure. Like when we started this, Matt, the whole point is just to get these interviews out there so people can understand, like with James last week, what real brands are actually doing to generate sales traffic and build their brands. You know, we discussed this before the call. The reality is most people think that you have an idea, you launch a website, and everyone comes to your website and buys your CBD because it's the best and strongest and most premium CBD in the world. That's not reality. That's not true. And what we're trying to show this community, this CBD Business Success Group, is real. The real stuff that's going on with real businesses growing their brand. So yeah, I'm pumped. I personally know Stuart already, so I know Stuart's story, but I'm sure I'm going to find out more. He's got a great story, and what he's doing in his business right now is going to massively help your group and anyone else who sees this outside the group, you know, build their business. And if they just take one thing away from this, they're going to change their business. You know,
it's amazing the value that's going to come out of these calls that we're doing every week and like last week. So it's just incredible. Like I went back and watched the one that we did last week. There was so many gems in there. So I'm excited for today. And so Stuart, if you don't mind, tell us about your background and then also what got you into the CBD industry.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, my name's Stuart. My main business at the moment is I've owned a gym. So I've been in the fitness industry for coming up to about 10 years now. Started off as a PT, worked the floor in a gym, opened up my own gym, and really it's grown from there. I mean, we've been running now 8 years.
Nice.
And we sort of run our business very much like we spoke about CrossFit earlier, about a community. So it's tight. You know, we've got mothers, sons, daughters. Everybody knows each other. Everybody's a friendly atmosphere. So we've got that little close-knit community vibe going on. And I guess from me, where CBD came into it was we were training some cage fighters. And this is going back about 2 years now. And the cage fighters, the amount of training these guys were putting in, I mean, they were slamming sessions, 2-3 sessions a day, 5-6 times a week. I mean, they were literally hammering it, you know. And a few of these guys were using CBD. And that's what first got me onto, you know, what is CBD and what does it do? So we started playing around with it. The problem, I think, at the time, and maybe still a little bit today, was where do you go? Which is the best brand? Where do you get this from? And at the time, these guys were bringing it in from the States. So we tried a few different things. And I guess for me, where that link came in was, although I've got a gym business and that's my background, is fitness, it was never a business that I was going to be in for the next 10, 15, 20 years. It was something that I wanted to build out, but phase myself out. But I guess still have a foot in fitness because it's my passion. So CBD for me was the perfect jump because I've got a close-knit community that I can work with, that I can try and I can test my products. You know, they believe me already, they trust me, and it's like I trust their opinion, I value their opinion. So like, right, I've got an audience ready to go here. And I guess CBD then would help me then, it's helping me phase away from the gym. The gym will continue to grow, but I guess it brings me out of the gym and then focuses them, because the thing that I guess I've seen with CBD is obviously we're working with some athletes and some top flight athletes, but we're also working with, you know, regular gym goers. Now they're training at different levels, but they still experience the same problem. They still need to recover from the sessions they're doing to go again.
Yeah.
So it's a case of, well, everything just sort of fitted in perfectly. We tried it. I've used it. I mean, I'm a complete advocate of CBD, and obviously the people around me who are using it, we're all got the same vision. So I guess that bubbled over into the gym, and I've used my gym to catapult it, I guess. And it's helped me massively, to be honest.
Did you have a huge email list with your gym already when you launched the brand?
Yeah, I mean, our list is about 2,000, 2,500. Not super big compared to some companies, but it's condensed. It's quite active. So the people we're working with, whether they still come into the gym or not, we're still in contact with everybody. And again, we still try and keep that close-knit community vibe going on. So although Suppology is a new venture, I've used that platform of my gym community to let's give this a go. Let's try it. I want to know your feedback. I want to know what you do. And then obviously then we've used our athletes then, and it's quite common. It all blends in quite nicely. So for me, I guess that's helped me, because the passion for fitness, the audience I have, and obviously wanting to continue into that industry. So yeah, it's helped massively, I guess.
Stuart, I know personally that you're a massive advocate for like men's mental health. Me and you discussed this in the past many times. So was that something you were thinking about when you were thinking like CBD, not only for the performance benefits for gym goers and athletes, but also the mental health aspect to it?
Yeah, huge, to be honest. The one thing that we do within the gym community is we sort of sponsor and help a foundation, which is the Jacob Abraham Foundation. And what that foundation is a platform for helping young males who are struggling, who are struggling with mental health, not knowing where to go. And it's a community where they feel that they can go, they can talk openly. So we support those as a gym. We do quite a lot of sort of fundraising campaigns, awareness campaigns with the Jacob Abraham Foundation in mind. So when obviously we brought on and came on with Suppology, yeah, of course it was definitely something that we want to do. And it's something that we still do now. So everything that we sell, we donate back to the Jacob Abraham Foundation so that they can continue and to grow that and help. Because, we've seen how CBD can help so many different people from backgrounds. Yeah, I mean, I focus on sport because obviously that's my background, but it's not just sport. It's bigger than that, and being a community gym and putting it back into the community to help with mental health, it's huge for us. So we'll continue to do that moving forward.
That's what I always say too, is to our clients and to our members, like, you want to build your brand around a cause so that people can get behind it. And it's just great for marketing too, but let alone you're helping so many young men. And there's such a stigma about, you got to be tough. And especially in, you always hear in England, the stiff upper lip of the English people, like, you don't let anybody, and even I'm Irish, like growing up Irish, everything's fine, nothing's wrong, even though everything's fucking wrong,
That's a typical guy's response to, isn't it? Everything's fine, I'm the big, strong male here. And I think that's what then keeps all these guys suppressed for so long. And then unfortunately things, don't go according to plan, and guys struggle just as much as anybody else. So the feeling for us was we always wanted to give back to the community, and being local to us, where our roots are from, it's the perfect choice to go, right, let's put back into the local community. And people understand as well, because we've got friends, family, and everybody's linked to somebody along the line. So our gym community have friends and family who are touched by the Jacob Abraham Foundation. We have customers who use Suppology, who link back to the Jacob Abraham Foundation, who link back to our gym members. So it's almost like this ever-evolving community that can continue to grow with the same message. So yeah, it helps us massively. I think you're right what you say, where you need that cause, that vision of helping people, because it drives you forward as well, And when you see how many people you're helping, it just goes a long way. Those days where you're struggling, but then hang on, you're helping other people. You can't have a fucking bad day, man. You got to buck up and get on with it, So it does help. It does help massively.
That's what I always say too. What is your why reason? Why are you doing this? Because the CBD industry is challenging. There's going to be shitty days, and you have to have that reason why you're doing this to keep moving forward and plowing through it. And so those are great points.
Yeah, one thing I will say is that for the American audience right here, which is most of you, James's accent is from Wales in the United Kingdom, so you probably wonder where his accent's from. But what's great about the Welsh people, they're a massive. They support one another. The UK is built into 4 countries: Scotland, England, Wales, and Islands. But the Welsh are super. They're so community based. They are old school and they support each other. So I mean, and Stuart agree with me, is that this is one thing I know about the Welsh, being working with the Welsh most of my life, and having former step parents over there, is that when they have something that's Welsh, they still stick by it and stand behind it and support each other, and they all drive forward. So that is a massive benefit to the brand as well. That when you start your base route in Wales, then you've got that support from the community. Naturally,
yeah, we've noticed that massively just from, I guess this is where it was important to put a face to the brand, because people, although they see Suppology, when I sort of started putting my face to it, and they go, oh, you're the guy that owns the gym. You're from Cardiff. You're in Wales. Then you get a lot of other Welsh companies stepping forward and almost just like wanting to help because they're part of that community, that Welsh community. And that is massive for us. That just makes us bigger than we are, you know? And it helps a great deal as well. So yeah, so it's pretty cool.
There's a brand lesson there for everybody. You can't always hide behind a logo on a brand, right? The brand has to have a voice. And if that brand voice is not real, and what I mean by that is that if it's just like some noise you're going to make behind the brand, but there has to be a person connected to it. You know, no different to like the Harry Potter books. And you've got, you know, I can't remember the name of who wrote Harry Potter books.
Oh, J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling, yeah. So it's her story that basically, you know, hyped it up, and they put the lady behind Spanx, you know, and all these sort of stories, and Elon Musk behind the brands he runs, you know what I mean? So like Tesla, it's Elon Musk. You know, SpaceX is Elon Musk. People support Elon Musk. So to be a brand, you can't hide behind a logo or a design. So yeah,
I think what I mean, people want to put a face to that brand. You know, I guess it's almost like lifeless without that face. It can be the best brand in the world, and people can see it everywhere, but without a face to it, I guess it doesn't bring that life to that brand. You know, so it is really important. And I think, people tend to listen a bit more than when they see that, you know, the human being, the face behind the brand. Real. People have got a connection with it then, you know, rather than just being the logo, the brand, the colors, the imagery or whatever. So I think it's super, super important to get that across. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that we're working on, and we will continue to work on as well.
Nice.
So, James, that will naturally lead us into the next question. How do you come up with the brand idea? Now, I'll caveat this, guys. This is not a promotion of Paul Booth's brands, but it's a question we will ask every brand that comes in. So it's like, you know, how do you come up with your brand idea? Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this leads very, very well into Paul. And look, I think the most important thing that I've learned is when we were looking at the CBD spaces, CBD is a saturated market, I guess, just as any others. But I think one thing that I guess really still resounds with me is that having like somebody who knows about branding, who knows about the industry you're getting into, is honestly, you can't pay enough for that, because without having that sort of market leading knowledge, and I guess I sound like I'm big and popular a little bit, but I do mean that. Paul has given me the platform to grow. Now, I couldn't have come up with a branding like that on my own, you know? So for Paul to step, you know, Paul has these brands, and I mentioned earlier, and I almost missed the opportunity for this, that when Paul obviously was putting the branding out there, I saw the branding Suppology, and I instantly wanted it. There was a few other issues going on in my personal life, which timing wasn't right. But then it came back around, and, you know, it's that second chance, fate. You know, I fell in love with the brand. There's just something that I guess I can't put a finger on it, but the branding for me, it almost instantly linked me. So then, because I liked that branding so much, and I felt that part of it, that was easy for me to get that across, you know. And I guess you need the branding to separate you. You can't just be a logo or a tagline. If you don't have a brand, you're not effectively a company, or people buy into the brand. And I guess what Paul's helped me to do personally with Suppology is create that brand that people can link to the brand. So it's not just a logo or a tagline or a product or even just some faceless company. It's all about the branding and growing the branding, the community, and everything else that goes with it, you know? So that's...
Yeah, I think you did a great job of taking what Paul built and then adding your 2 cents and your life to it, and putting and making it a real brand, like you're saying, like the messaging and the community that you're giving back to and everything else. You're doing an amazing job at that.
And I guess that's it. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a tough industry to get into, but I knew that at the start, you know, that wasn't going to put us off. But I guess the biggest thing that was to have that strong branding presence, something that I could grow. And obviously I had to have a passion for it. I had to love it to grow it, you know, and having that passion now with Suppology and everything around it is, I guess I've put my spin on it. And I've gone down my route where, you know, we've got a very targeted audience where we're looking at athletes and we want to grow that base. But I want those athletes then to be part of the brand, the whole brand Suppology and what it entails. It's not just the logo, the colors, the images or whatever, okay? And I guess, again, we go, and you bang on about this all the time, and I guess we're not a CBD brand product. We are a brand in itself. You know, Suppology is a brand that will grow and grow. It just so happens that our products at the moment have CBD in, but it's much more than that. So Paul's given us the platform to do that, you know, and we get it time and time again, you know, and you know, when you can take all these risks you want, you know, and it's nice to have those people come back to you and go, man, I love your branding. I love what you're doing with it. And you know what, that keeps us going. That really does help us and keep us going, and to have that strong identity, which, okay, going back to Paul, yeah, Paul's given us that. But it's nice then when you put your spin on it, your life into it, then the people give you the confidence to go, right, we're doing the right thing here. We're growing. It's just head down, keep moving forward, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's ultimately this, is that any pre-made brand or any brand, right, it goes back to the thing I always say, audience message product, AMP, right? So you kind of knew, Stuart, already what type of audience you're going after. You know what your message wanted to be. You already knew this before you even got into this space, right? You knew that. So all you had to do was see a brand that connected the dots. And then you've taken your vehicle of your audience, your message, understanding that, and you took the pre-made brand, you know, Suppology, and it all fit like a glove. So now you just run away with it. Yeah, I created it and what have you, that. But I just created the concept, the idea, the opportunity, and that was it. But it takes someone like you and like James last week and many other people that are doing really well in this space, is they take the idea and they run away with it and, you know, and put their heart and soul into it. Because as we said about 10 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago, a brand has to feel real. People connect real. And nowadays, whenever they lock down on the internet, they're looking for real brands, looking for real, you know, social medias. They're not looking for fake brands that are just like there to take their money. They want to feel like they're part of the community. They're part of the brand's ethos is aligned with their ethos. You know, the brand's projection of a message is the same as the kind of message they're looking after. They want to see and, you know, you got to look at seven figures as well. You got to look great. The brand's got to look and feel great straight out the gate. You know, and all that thing together, you know, creates that like that cauldron of like quality. Then people will jump on board. Yes. If your brand sucks and looks shite, and the messaging is shite, and your website is shite, you can have a cauldron of shite, and then you can make sales. So people have to understand that's really important. That you've got to be connected to the target audience, but you got to understand who that target audience is. It can't be a fluffy, anyone between 18 and 50 that wants to get rid of pain. It's like, Jesus Christ, come on. Yeah. But you got it, you understood it. So when that brand came up and you saw it, it attracted you because you're already subconsciously looking for something like that, because you go, I want to get into this space. This is my target audience. I now know after I can use my gym. This is the kind of messaging. Yeah. And when you saw the brand, it was like, okay, this is married to me. So I take that. Do you know what I mean? So someone else, it was taken previously before, the person did nothing with it. So I took it back because all my brands are like my babies. So you know, you're the right person for this brand. Perfect. Yeah.
It's quite funny you say that, because without having any of that to hand, and if I just approach it and said, I'm looking for a brand, I don't even know if I would have come up with Suppology, if I'm honest with you. But I think it's right what you're saying. I knew I had the gym audience. I knew where I wanted to go with it. And I guess it's that just seeing that coach, that's the brand. And it just instantly connected everything together. Not that I was specifically looking for Suppology. It's just right. I knew that was the brand. I knew that was the gap between to link it together. And that's why I said to you, I go, man, I got to go for this now, you know? And that's what we did. So yeah, it's really, really important to get that whole package, I think, together, you know? So
yeah, and you made a good point too, Stuart, is you know, you're not a CBD brand, and Suppology, there's so many supplements that you could roll out once you build up your product, once you build your audience list up, and it's just going to be incredible. I can't wait to watch the journey, man.
Yeah.
And so it's exciting. And so far, like, what would you say have been some of the biggest challenges you faced setting the brand up, like getting the manufacturing going and all those other avenues, and, you know, getting it all set up?
Yeah, I guess initially, I mean, James touched on this when he was obviously in the interview, is you got to get the right manufacturers on board. You know, there are lots and lots of manufacturers out there that say they do everything and can do this. I guess the biggest thing for us was, you know, we had to think of overhead costs and expenditure. When you're talking to some of these companies out there, these manufacturers, they're talking as if I'm earning seven figures already, you know, and I'm not. I'm just starting out in the game. And some of these guys, their MOQs were just sky high. And it's just like, well, I'm just starting out. Look, I'm small at the moment. I know I'm going to grow, but grow with me. Instead of just saying, right, coming in high, I want like 5,000, 2,000, 3,000 of each product line. So for us, it was really, really important to I guess, find somebody who believed in us and what we could do and wanted to grow with us. So that was a bit of a learning curve, because a lot of the companies that I spoke to, and as much as they loved the branding, it was right, we need X amount on MOQ on each product line, non-negotiable, that's it. And I was like, come on, guys, work with me a little bit here. And there were quite a few companies that are just not willing to budge. It's a corporate, it's just, these are the numbers, this is what it is. So that was a bit of a learning curve, because I just thought, oh, hey, we've got a great brand here. Everybody will take us on. We can just pretty much do what we want and get these products made and put them to market. But it's not the case. So I think it's really, really important you find that manufacturer that can grow with you. Yeah, and the one thing that we've got with our manufacturer, I mean, it's just a great relationship, because, you know, they are not the biggest manufacturer in the world, but they're small enough and agile enough to move with us. So we can just pick up the phone quickly and say, right, we want to change a formulation on this. What do you think? Yeah, let's do it. Let's try it. So within 5 days, I've got samples ready on my desk, good to go. You know, they've picked up with us that, you know, some of your audience may want this. So like we've just done it now. So we're sending out these brochures that we send out with every product. So it's just a free brochure. Now these guys have just done it for us. So it's just a little information about who we are. So it just reiterates us, all the products, a little brief description, and obviously all the contact details on. Now, the manufacturer's done that free of charge.
Wow. That's impressive.
They're investing in your growth. They're investing in your growth. It's amazing. This manufacturer, like anyone who's a manufacturer watching this right now, pull your finger out your ass, because most of you are lazy bastards, and all you want is people's money. If you invest in these smaller brands, like, I think Tom said to me once that, I can't remember, he said, all sunken ships rise together or something, when it's, I can't remember what he said, but what it's like, if they invest more time into the smaller brands and help them grow, in 12, 24 months time, their revenue is going to go through the roof. If you rely on the big guys or the bigger brands, and then big brands go off to someone else who's a bigger brand, a bigger manufacturer, they lose that. So it's amazing your manufacturer's done that. Yeah, any manufacturer out there, invest in the brands that come on board, support them as much as you can, obviously within the ability you can do. And if you support them to grow, you're going to generate more revenue. It's helping everyone to grow. And that's your manufacturer's phenomenal doing that.
And I guess it's like, it's again, it goes back to, I mean, we'll touch on it later probably, about the whole marketing and everything. It's all about growing a relationship, having that open and honest conversation with your manufacturer and saying, look, this is where I am. This is all I can afford, but this is my plan moving forward, and this is where I'm going to get to. Do you want to come on my journey with me? Now, to have a manufacturer then believe in us when we've only been going, 4 months, a couple of months, 4 or 5 months. Yeah. So that for them then to believe in us and say, well, look, we can see where you're going. How about doing this? Right, we'll fund this. Don't worry. They're almost like investing in us, and that gives us more confidence to grow. And that's massive. That's not something that we've asked for. That's something that they've seen just by us keeping on delivering what we say we're going to do over and over. And, we go back to the manufacturer and say, right, I've got these guys over in Holland. They want 3 boxes of this. How have you got into Holland? You've just literally started. How have you got this athlete? So it's quite a good learning curve for these guys as well, because then we're having this conversation, right, this is the plan we've got for next quarter. This is the plan we've got for the quarter after that. So they can see where we're going. And equally, when we're delivering and things are coming through, then they're just investing because they want us to grow. The bigger we are, the bigger they can grow.
Yeah, they can more money they make. Simple. Yeah, if you do $1 million turnover, they're making a shit ton of money, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're going to use you as a case study. Like this is what we helped build, and so it's brilliant.
Yeah, and for us that was really important, and it's quite ironic. One of the larger companies that we approached when we were trying to set up manufacturing, their minimum order quantities were too much. They wanted a whole stockpile of boxes, stockpile of labels. And it just stretched our overheads a bit too much. And whilst I wanted to work with them, it was like, look, I can't afford it. I've got to be sensible here. Unfortunately, I can't work with you guys moving forward. And it was one of the business representatives then gave me a call and said, look, they love your brand. They love you. It's just, we can't bend on the numbers. It's just a set. That is it. And if you can't meet that, then you don't come in. And I said, look, I understand that as a business. But it was him then that put me in touch with the smaller manufacturer.
Nice.
I think you guys will work really well. I think you'll blend together. You've got the same vision. You can both grow together. And what's quite funny is that the larger manufacturers come back to us quite recently and said, look, we love what you're doing. We'd like you to come on board now. And I said, but I get that, but you didn't want me to commit to it. And I meant that. And I said, look, if I'm honest with you, you probably could make my cost a little bit cheaper than the manufacturer I'm with, but I'm going to repay loyalty. This guy's been loyal to me to help me grow. He's given me so much in terms of not just product, in terms of free value as well, brochures, packaging. It helps me on designing labels. So I said, I'm going to stick with these guys. So it was quite ironic that happened, but equally it was quite nice in the fact that they actually they didn't see what we had at the beginning. And I wish they had, because we would have worked with them, you know? So like you're going on what you're saying about manufacturers out there, I think sometimes you've got to take a punt in a new business and then grow with them, because in turn that's going to grow you. And it actually helps, you know, a lot of companies to get off the mark as well. You know, we wouldn't be where we are today without this manufacturer helping us. You guys will work really well. That's bottom line, you know. So yeah, we're quite grateful for that, and yeah, we're very, very fortunate to have created that relationship as well.
And then, like, on the marketing side so far, what's been working for you guys?
I would say primarily Instagram and LinkedIn.
LinkedIn?
Instagram and LinkedIn. LinkedIn wasn't something that I used primarily for the gym. When we were in the gym, Facebook tended to sort of bring in all the traffic, you know, through Facebook ads and various promotions. But obviously what we found with CBD, there's a stigma, there's a gray area in terms of marketing, getting paid ads. I know you guys crushing what you're doing. But for us, I guess it was take a step back and how we're going to grow a business. Let's say we can't pay for ads. Ads don't work. Imagine they're not there, because I think people could rely on that as well. And I guess it takes you a few steps back and going like old school and hustling and actually picking the phone, creating a relationship with somebody, getting on with them, growing that relationship, and then in terms of growing a product and a revenue stream. So Instagram worked really well for that, and so did LinkedIn. LinkedIn a lot better than I thought, if I'm honest with you. But I found what LinkedIn created was a lot more connection in Europe, out of the UK. So it would get a lot more eyes on my product and me outside of the UK also. So it worked really, really well. But I think it's important to stress that I think that, look, don't get me wrong. I mean, we know that paid advertising works, but I quite like the fact that we're going old school, picking up the phone, making relationships, because I think when you've got that connection with that person at the end of the phone, like that just grows. It's like us with the manufacturer, you know, if they believe in you, they're going to grow with you. That creates a stronger foundation than any sort of ad campaign, I believe. So that's what's working well for us at the moment is Instagram and LinkedIn.
And are you using LinkedIn more for business to business, like for brick and mortar distribution?
Not really, no. I think it's a blend of both, if I'm honest with you. And it works quite well for us in a sense that I guess it's probably about 60-40 in the sense of bricks and mortar at the moment. Yeah, we do get a lot of businesses contacting us, but we do get a lot of the individuals and consumers as well, because I guess they're all following the same trends on LinkedIn and picking up offers. So we're getting a lot of people contacting us direct on LinkedIn as well.
That's huge, man. And you don't even have like a LinkedIn group. It's just they're contacting directly through your page on LinkedIn.
Yeah, and it's bizarre. You know, you get a message from somebody, like we had one the other day, and when I went onto his profile, I was like, this guy owns like a haulage company. Who is he like? And he's like, oh, well, I follow so-and-so CBD company. I've just seen your brand pop up. I'm really interested in doing it. I want to use some of your products. So we've been sending out a lot of trial and sample products through LinkedIn as well.
Smart.
And it's a little bit like what I used to do in the gym to try and get PT business. It's layers, isn't it? You build the relationships, the trust. You don't go bang in with the sell straight away. It's building all this, like, I guess, trust in me.
Trust. It's trust. Relationship.
Yeah, building that relationship. And weirdly, like the selling is easy then because they already trust you. You know, and I think that's the biggest problem or the biggest mistake a lot of companies do at the moment. And you see it, they've got this CBD brand. And it's all about, right, we're going to make millions. We're going to make, 1,000, tens of thousands every month. It's just go. That reality is not there, because of the stigma around CBD in certain areas and certain industries still. It's a case you've got to nurture that relationship and grow with it. So for us, it's working great. LinkedIn and Instagram, definitely. And we don't run any paid traffic through it. It's a case of just building relationships. and almost like tracing back. You know, I can pick somebody on Instagram and go, I want to work with that guy. Right, who would follow those? And we trace it all back. So then you start off the lower levels and build back up, and eventually you're going to get that guy anyway.
Exactly.
Whereas if I went in direct, you go, well, who the hell are you? But if he sees you come through different channels, oh, he knows so and so. Everything's linked, man. So I guess you just got to trace it back and build back up. And
you said some gold there, Stuart, massive gold there, is that people don't realize LinkedIn is where Facebook was in 2012, effectively. So the virality on LinkedIn is incredible, and you can treat it like Facebook was in 2012. So is it 2020? It's about 2012, sorry, 2013. Yeah. LinkedIn is power, and you can run ads for CBD on LinkedIn, as in to direct to CBD oil pages. No holding it, no like interim page or anything like that. You can just run ads. I've done it. Yeah. I've tested it. It works. Yeah. So it works, LinkedIn. But LinkedIn is a powerful platform. I think it's the second biggest social media platform. You know what I mean? So there's so many people on it. Everyone thinks it's business to business, but it's complete. People now use it because they go, oh, Facebook's just full of clowns and idiots, right? I'm going to go and use LinkedIn as my Facebook now because it's more mature, meant to be more mature, more professional. But I tell you what, everyone on there, you know, who thinks they're more professional than that, are still going to look for CBD products, still going to look for sports supplements, still going to look for anything on there, and they're going to spot this shit. Do you know what I mean? No one on there really. Everyone on there is not, you know, it's not. Everyone's thinking, oh, I'm looking for marketing jobs or trying to find a job. That is gone miles. It's nowhere near that anymore. People on there to show off their skill set, show off who they are, and it's just basically it's a mature Facebook. That's all it is.
100%. I totally agree with that, and that's the one thing that we've noticed is that people are migrating from Facebook onto LinkedIn purely for that reason, because it's a little bit, I guess, more serious, a bit more like, you know, it's less of the cute kitten videos and all that nonsense and people sharing family things. It's a bit more serious in a sense where people are like, this is what I've got, this is what it does, do you want some of it? And people are there ready for it in LinkedIn, and it works really, really well. And I agree with you, it is where Facebook was years ago. Definitely.
Yeah, and you made a great point too about, I always say this over and over and over, and I'll keep saying it. The more samples you give out, the more sales you're going to get. You got to have people try the product. It's just like, and you got to have a budget for that. You got to set aside the money for those samples.
Yeah. I think that was something that was initially, it was a little bit like, I can't send out all these products. That's like, how much is going out the door and I'm not getting anything back? But then when you got to flip that, it's like, well, I'm not spending this amount on Facebook ads or Instagram ads, right? So I'll tell you what, I'll put that budget in free products, right? Get my products out there to everybody. Try this, tag us in, photos. Yeah, so that was a bit of a learning curve. I guess almost like letting my products go for free, but it's just a change of mindset thing. So
yeah, your cooling relief gel you've got, if I had a sample sachet of that and I put it on my sore wrist from doing CrossFit, like I know what it does. If I put it on my wrist and that pain just disappeared from my workout, I'd be like, send me a bucket load. I'd be like, you know what I mean? I'd be straight on buying it. So that is like, because CBD sometimes, like you take it, people go, oh, they're expecting some sort of buzz or something, but your cooling relief gel, that instantly removes pain. It's like nuts. When I put it on my back or my wrist, especially because I'm trying to do like rack and I've got like a broken wrist from playing rugby, so it aches. But I put that stuff on a whole workout. I can feel my wrist, but I don't feel the pain whatsoever. I do afterwards, and I use it again. So that's the type of thing. You sample that. If people feel it straight away, they're like, this is mega. Do you know what I mean? So sampling is power. It says it all the time. It's power. Any market is power. Sampling is power. It's food. Why do shops that sell cakes stand outside with like bits of cake so you can try it when you walk past? You know,
or you go to I don't know if you guys have Costco in England, but you know, everywhere you go, they're giving out samples.
I just go there for lunch.
Yeah, exactly. That's a free food.
You just keep doing circles of the aisles coming back from more.
So Stuart, this is one thing I want to get onto. So what you're doing is working right now, because I know you've got UFC fighters on board. You're affiliated with UFC Wales. You've got boxers. You've got cage fighters. You're working with these guys out in Holland. You know, so tell us more about how you got involved with that and what you're doing with that, because for me that's power. You know what I mean, what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's going back to, I guess, what I've been just banging on about. It's just literally creating a relationship with somebody. You know, we already had a few links with some UFC fighters from when I was training before. So I guess it's a case of just reaching out and asking the question, this is who I am. I've got a product. You want to try it for me? And look, yeah, you're going to get some people that say no, but it is really all about creating relationships and picking up that phone and asking the question. Will you use my product? Will you promote my product? And I guess then if they believe in you, then yeah, of course they're going to do it. But I guess the one thing that's worked for us is that direct contact. You know, we're going direct to the fighters. Can we help you? Do you want to use some of our products for free? Just try it for free. And they're like, well, okay, yeah. But I guess what worked for us initially, we brought on Jack Marshman, who was fighting in the UFC. We already had links with the gym. And I was like, look, is there any way I can help you through training? And we sent him out some products, started using it. It's like, right, great. This product works. Like what Paul just said, he was using the muscle balm. So initially he used just the topicals, and he was using our muscle balm and our cooling gel, instant relief. So of course, when he's training for his fight and, you know, he's done a couple of sessions, pulls out the cooling gel muscle balm, people are like, well, what the hell's that? That's led then, you know, to a few other fighters. And it was literally back in January when he was fighting in the UFC, we sort of penciled in a few fighters who were in his network. Now, I knew they were going to come on board because Jack's already believing in us. And it's a case of then we just keep going back, growing a bit of a relationship with them, you know, reaching out on Instagram, through LinkedIn, and just asking a question, will you use our product? They're going to say fucking yes or no. This is the bottom line, you know. That's it. But I think some people are a little bit too scared to ask sometimes. So they can almost talk themselves out of growing a relationship. In terms of the guys over in Holland, they picked this up from LinkedIn. They loved our vision, our branding, and what we were doing. Now they reached out to us and said, look, we're trying to help some athletes. Can you come on board? And what ideas do you have? And I was like, right, well, we've got this affiliate program. You know, the biggest thing that athletes or aspiring athletes struggle with is funding. Where do they get their funding from? How do they fund their lifestyle? You know, they want to be the next fighter, the next boxer, tennis player, CrossFit player. But reality is some of these guys still have 9-to-5 jobs that they have to hold down. They don't have funding. And then when it comes to getting to events or venues, how can you help out? So when we sort of sat down and said, look, we've got an affiliate program. We can give the guys products. They can use it monthly, have a supply every month to support their training. We just want some commitment back on social media. We want then them to reach out to their audience and say, look, I'm using this. This helps you because of X. And then obviously in turn, then they can earn some commission off doing it. So in turn, obviously doing so. So I guess that's where that's grown. And funny you say about the cooling gel, like, you know, we sent out, I send out a box to everybody who's interested because I'm like, look, you know what I'm about. Let me send you some products. You can feel it. You can see it. You have the reality of it in your hand. You know what it's like then. So we sent out a box of products to Holland. And initially when they landed on the desk, Roald over there picked them up, opened them up. And this is purely by luck. There was a CrossFit athlete in there. So for some reason, his favorite color is blue. So he picked up one of the blue tops, picked up a cooling gel and said, I'm taking these. And I was like, oh, you can have those. He said, do me a favor, just tag him on Instagram and you go. Now, within like an hour, this guy's done a workout with his t-shirt on, put the cooling gel on after. It turns out that this kid, this 17-year-old kid, Sander, is like an aspiring athlete who's going to be going to the games. Now, he's messaged me. He loves this product. But I guess, yeah, it's about timing. But if I'm not sending out free products and samples, that guy would never have picked up my product. I would never have got into his audience and I would never get in touch with him. So I guess it all links in and it's that ever evolving. You just got to keep doing the thing, keep doing your thing, keep sending out the samples and doing what you believe in, but following it up as well, I guess. And, you know, if you're going to send free products, just do what you say you're going to do. Then, you know, it builds that trust and you just grows from there, man. It spirals and we're having great success with it. And do you know what? I like going back a little bit old school and hustling and picking up the phone and creating that buzz about, you know, I guess being human beings. Instead of all behind like all the technology and it's working really well. It's working really well.
I can back that up, Stuart. Just years ago when I had my supplement brand, I knew one of the writers at Men's Health. We knew him from a mutual friend, and someone said, "Oh, they'd like to look at your protein. You know, do you mind sending them some?" Just a writer at Men's Health. I sent about 300 to 400 pounds worth of products to Men's Health, and obviously he gets to his desk and he's just got like 6 tubs of protein, all his pre-workouts, all his fat burners on his desk, and obviously all the other guys, the writers, were like taking some. And then he messaged me back about 3 months later. It's like, oh, dude, thanks for that. Thanks for the products. It's like too much than I expected. Everyone else just stole it off me, put t-shirts in there and stuff. They said, oh, can we write about you in Men's Health? I'm like, yes, you bloody can write about Men's Health. It's like, then about a month later, September 2012, I think it was, or 2012, we're in the Men's Health Supplement Awards. You know, we were like 1-2 categories and we're featured in the other 2. Sales went, ba-ding. So we had the UK's #1 fitness magazine writing about us because I sent over 300 quid's worth of product to a writer at Men's Health. So I saw the opportunity that rather than just send him like a protein tub that he would just have to himself, send him way too much shit. He's not going to want it. The box is going to look massive on his desk, and everyone else is going to go, what's he got? So I didn't know where it was going to go, but ended up getting this in Men's Health Supplement Awards and, you know, making this a ridiculous amount of money thereafter. So as Matt said, sampling is massively important. As you said, it's just sending things out to people for the potential opportunity. Now, that has to be a marketing budget for that as well. So people have to be aware that you have to understand that. Now, I know some marketing budgets go way over 7 figures sometimes to do this pure sampling. You know, someone starts a protein business, they literally just put 7 figures to the side. But like, as you said, you haven't got that. So you're doing the hustle way. And the hustle way teaches you what works. Because if you hustle and you understand what works for your audience, then when you apply paid advertising to it, you know it's already working. So all you got to do is just boost out with paid advertising, then you crush it. So yeah, people have to be really aware of that. You can't just come to market and go, I'm just going to do ads. You know, if you've got the budget, crack on, do it. But you need to do the hard work and the hustling like you and James are doing. You know, James from last week and yourself now, understanding human connection is sometimes you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know, like one of these UFC fighters might be really good mates with like Dana White. Might be having a conversation one time and say, I'm using this. I know someone else in another brand that has a connection to one of the leading Premiership managers in soccer in the UK just through conversation. You know, you don't know where it's going to go. And if that one person goes, oh, I like that product, right? You just don't know where it will go. Again, another brand that the guy who bought CrossFit recently. They know him personally. So they just don't know where that connection is going to go. So without, like you say, getting yourself out there, putting shit out there, you never know what's going to happen. If you just go, and it's the mindset, like you said, Stuart, it's the mindset of going, I'm giving shit, I'm losing money because I'm giving shit away for free. It's not, it's marketing budget.
Exactly. And pick up the phone, people. Like Stuart was saying, you got to pick up the phone sometimes. Like people hide behind the computer all day and they're just sending out emails. Sometimes you got to pick that phone up and really connect with people. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that hard, dirty work. Like my old partner built a $30 million a year company selling Kratom because they picked up the phone. He had his bed in his office. I was like, dang, you sleeping in your office? And when he started the company, he was literally sleeping in his office. And he built it to a 40 salesperson team, and they were doing 30 million a year. It took about 3-4 years, but they were willing to pick the phones up all day long, and that's what they did. And so a lot of companies.
What's the worst thing that can happen? Someone says no.
No. And this is the beauty. I think, it's not that bad, you know. And I think once you get over that mindset that, you know, you're going to get people that say no, you're going to get people that for whatever reason don't want to get into CBD, don't want to use it, whatever. But you're just finding out the people that you don't need to speak to anymore. You move them to one side, you focus on the people who do want to know and listen to what you're having to say. So yeah, it's really, really important. And I guess it's building that foundation, isn't it? You have a stronger foundation when you connect with the human being of that company or that individual. It just speaks more volumes, and it just helps you grow a lot stronger. So yes, like what you just said then, I mean, we had a message from the guys over in UFC Wales. Now, predominantly these guys are just an information site. They obviously want to bring the UFC into Wales, into the UK, to support a lot of the Welsh fighters. And we just got talking, and I just reached out to the guys. I said, look, let's just roll a competition out to your audience. He said, why would you do that? So why wouldn't I? Your audience is my audience. Your audience have a passion for fighting, for training. That's my products will help them do that. So let's just roll out a competition. And they were literally shocked I'd asked them to do that. But then they were just like, right, is there anything else we can do? And it's funny, it turns out one of them lives in California. There you go. So one of the guys lives in California. He said, right, do you know who's on my doorstep? I've got this gym, this gym, this gym, this gym. I can go down to Team Alpha Male, the Uriah Faber gym. He said, Corey McKenna, she's a Welsh fighter. He said, I know really, really well. So he said, I'm going to take some products down there. Let's get it in the gym lying around.
That's what I was going to ask you too, Stuart. Are you doing distribution in the United States?
Not yet, no.
If a distributor wanted to reach out to you from the US, would you work with them?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, any distributors that are watching this video, if you like the brand Suppology, and I'm sure Stuart will send you some samples too to try out.
Loads, hoodies, t-shirts, more than enough.
Cool.
But yeah,
so,
definitely. So I guess it comes back to like you don't know who you're speaking to, where it's going to lead to. That was just a casual conversation on a Saturday afternoon. Now, potentially, I got this guy taking in physical products into a gym, which probably I'd never get into. But he's going to go and do it off my own back. I mean, I've been asked him to do it. He said, dude, I'll take your products down there. We've got Welsh fight in there. She's been trained by these guys. These guys are like Hall of Famers UFC guys. Let's get the product and leave the product in there, you know? That's just, I couldn't thank them enough. And that was just literally for me agreeing to do a competition on their Instagram page. You know, effectively, that was it. You know, it didn't cost me anything. We just ran a competition out. We made a couple of sales, and then he's taking my products down into some gyms in California for me. So it just works. And like you said, you don't know. So you just have to keep trying. And eventually all these things start coming to fruition, you know. But I do believe, and it's about creating that connection with a human being and that relationship.
100%. Yeah. And
it speaks so much more than just faceless messaging, ads, whatever. You know, there's no connection between you and the branding there. When people know you're the brand and they're speaking to you and they're getting your message across, it works really, really well.
Yeah, so people that are watching or going to watch this later, like if you have an online marketplace or if you have a brick and mortar store and you want to pick up Suppology products, you can either reach out to me or Stuart and I'll get you connected, or Stuart will take care of you. And but I'm excited to watch the brand grow, and I've been watching you guys on Instagram, and you're doing a great job on Instagram as well. So as people check out the Suppology Instagram, follow them on there as well. And do you have any last words of wisdom to leave with us?
I guess from my point of view, it's all about your mindset that you have going into the industry. You know, the industry is you're not going into a CBD industry as such. You're going into a brand that you represent. You know, the face of you represents that brand. And the more you can do in terms of creating relationships with physical human beings who want to share the same vision, your community and your brand is going to just grow and grow and grow. And you're going to have a lot stronger loyalty off the back of that as well than anything else. If nothing else, that community, that following you have, they're going to be like savage beasts, and they'll follow you to the end of the earth because they believe in what you're doing. And you've created
it's easier to keep a customer than it is to get new ones. So it's like people, a lot of brands drop the ball. They get all these customers and then they forget about them. It's like, you got to treat your existing customers like family.
100%.
Brands have fans. Remember that. Brands have fans, and fans have a reason to be a fan. So once you've got them first time as a customer, you make them $1 million. It's simple. It's simple.
Just go over and above and deliver. Over and above on your delivery. You win every time. You know, you win every time. And the ones you don't were never meant to be with you anyway. So that's the way to look at it.
Love it, Stuart. And this has been super valuable. I think you've given some great information and tips. And like I said, people, if you want to pick up Suppology products, reach out to me or Stuart, and we'll take care of you with that. And I think we'll be back next week, but if not, we'll be back the week after because I'm traveling this week. And so we'll let you know, people. And thanks for watching, everybody. And thanks for joining us. We really appreciate your time, Stuart, and the information that you shared with the community. Thanks, brother. And thanks as always, Paul.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Be safe. Speak soon.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys. Take care.